Nobara's comeback is imminent, with her trending online in the Japanese fanbase, with many of them truly believing that she will actually come back. And not only is she going to come back, but she's going to come back as the final special grade to put the nail in the coffin to defeat Ryomen Sukuna, as she is the key to actually beating this monster and is the one character who can perfectly counter him like no one else can. Nobara Nation, this one is for you. Be sure to leave a like on the video, it helps out a ton. Thank you very much. And of course, be sure to subscribe for a ton of JJK content. Less than 10% of people who actually watch my videos are subscribed, so if you love JJK, I promise you, you will not regret subscribing. And of course, thank you to the special grade members of the channel. It's much appreciated. Alright, now let's get right into this. So I'm going to break this video down into two separate parts. The first part is going to be discussing why I think narratively she will actually come back and discussing if it's a good idea or if it isn't. And of course, the second part will be a lot of scaling and how she's going to not only come back stronger, but will also destroy Sukuna and what she's been up to in the 1 month time skip. So first and foremost, Shao Lightning on Twitter, who pointed out that Nobara / Mecha Nobara is actually trending on Japanese Twitter after chapter 254. And I also have some friends who are in the Japanese community online saying the same thing that a lot of people are saying after the chapter with Miguel coming back. A lot of Japanese fans think Nobara is coming back, and why is this? Well, it's the very fact that Miguel came back. Of all characters, this character who has never been in JJK itself, only in JJK 0 bar one cover page, I think it was chapter 33, we actually see him and Yuta in Africa, and later on in a fanbook, GEGE clarifies that yes, that cover page is actually canon, and it was from a time when Gojo handed Yuta off to Miguel to actually train him and to get him stronger after JJK 0, because in case you weren't aware, Yuta, yes, went back to a grade 4 when JJK 0 ended, but it only took him a couple months, yes, just a couple months of training with Miguel to actually regain his special grade rank and to actually be titled the second to Gojo only in unusual abilities. And if this guy, who a JJK 0 character, a prequel character, came back, it's why a lot of people are starting to believe if he can come back, of all people to fight Sukuna, if we're throwing every single body we have at him, GEGE is pulling characters out of the blue. I mean, we've really run out of characters, everyone has been defeated, so he's pulling them out of any place he can find. Why not bring back Nobara and Todo? Though I won't be touching on Todo this video because it's a Nobara video, so I'll be touching on Nobara. And it's pretty funny how she's trending as Mecha Nobara in the Japanese fanbase. So in case you aren't aware, it's actually a reference to Mecha Frieza, you know, one of the goated villains, when he actually came back as his mecha form only to get instantly killed by Trunks, but it is a reference to that. And here's something incredibly crazy. Nobara was last seen in chapter 126, obviously excluding that single page that wasn't actually her, it was just of Yuji thinking of her in the past, so she has not been seen since chapter 126 when Yuji looked down at her cold body. I don't even want to say corpse because I think she's alive. I'm coping so hard, as you can tell. And JJK is currently at chapter 254. That means with the release of chapter 253, the previous chapter, it has been officially over half of the story that Nobara has been absent, which is pretty insane to think about how this was the character who, while JJK was actually happening in the first half, you know, I've actually been someone who's been reading since the very first chapter came out weekly. Yes, I've been reading weekly since then. I'm not that old though, I'm only 22. Nobara was someone who was hyped up to be way better than all of the other, and I'm gonna say this in quotes, heroine type characters that other shonen have. So, you know, Orohime, Sakura. Nobara was clearly different. I mean, especially with the death painting arc, she was insane. She was just awesome how she hit a black flash, and a lot of people were saying, wow, she is actually a complete beast. She is going to be better than all of them, only for in Shibuya for her to get completely sidelined, which is a bit sad how that's happened, and it's led a lot of people to actually say that, is there even a point of Nobara coming back? I mean, even if she's alive, that's debatable because GEGE has left it so open-ended and so vague on if she's dead or alive, with the Kyoto student straight up saying, oh, there's a chance she's alive, you know, don't get your hopes up, but there's a chance she's alive, it's not 0%, with him reiterating that there's a chance so many times. And actually, in my opinion, I truly believe, and this is something I've been saying since well over a year on my channel and Twitter, I really believe that the reason Nobara was actually written out of the story is simply because she solves way too many problems. Soul resonance is just too powerful. Does this excuse how poorly GEGE has treated her character? Absolutely not. That is not what I'm saying. I'm simply saying her being in the story, it really ends the story way too quickly. I truly do believe JJK would already be over had she been in the story right now. And this is a pretty hot take, you know, if you don't agree, that's okay, this is just what I believe, but I'll give my reasonings now and you can come up with your own conclusions on if you think I'm crazy or if you think I'm cooking. Now you see, Yuji is exactly like his Sukuna finger, he is soaked in his cursed energy, so what that means is, in theory, if Nobara were to actually attack Yuji, that should actually hurt Sukuna as well if she uses her soul resonance. We've seen this before, where connections like this, even connections of just cursed energy, can actually transfer damage. I mean, it's literally just how her soul soul resonance works, let's say while Gojo and Sukuna were fighting, Nobara's saying with everyone in the bleachers. She could literally ask Yuji to put his hand out, hit him with a soul resonance, that soul damage would transfer onto Sukuna, and while Sukuna's fighting Gojo, he'd constantly be getting hit by soul resonance over and over, stunning him constantly. And I want to remind you that this is soul damage, it's not even normal damage that you can defend against normally, it is directly on the soul, and Sukuna would have no way of defending against it, and he would just be getting hit by it repeatedly, and they can just heal Yuji's arm or whatever, and even in the most extreme case, they can straight up kill Yuji, which they wouldn't do, okay? They really wouldn't do this, but I'll explain why maybe Yuji would go along with this, or at least offer himself up to this, but they could actually end his life with soul resonance to actually do insane damage on Sukuna, like heavy damage to his soul. Again, out of character, they wouldn't do it, but at least for Yuji, it would be in character. He would say, you know, you should try this on me, but they would never do that. And this isn't even getting into the fact that she completely counters the merger too. But just back on Sukuna, like I said before, Yuji is someone who's easily willing to sacrifice his own life to kill Sukuna, so he would offer this, and soul resonance distributes damage somewhat evenly, and her curse technique attacks the soul directly, so you can't even guard against it with reinforcement and output like you normally would, and this logic would go for Kenjaku and his merger, or I guess I should say Sukuna and his merger right now. This is because the merger is made up of a cluster of cursed energies, you know, it's an amalgamation of a lot of things, so all Nobara would need to do is hit a part of the merger, or even something just connected to it, or even just one single person or a human that's actually linked to the merger, and that would damage all of the merger evenly, because that's how a soul resonance actually works. And not only that, this is something I said back in October of last year, I have a feeling that Nobara is going to come back at a very special moment, and GEGE is just saving that. The heroes will lose to Sukuna and Kenjaku in the first round, though I guess in this case just Sukuna, and technically Kenjaku. It's when they come back in the second round that Nobara will actually awaken and return. It's when people least expect it to come back that she will, so I still think this is possible, though I do want to tweak it just a bit. I think it's actually possible that she may come back sooner, and maybe even in round 1 she may come, and this may tie into Miguel, and I'll say that this is unlikely, and what's more likely is that she'll actually come back on a separate occasion, but it's just the fact that we don't know what's happened over the past month. They could have actually already healed Nobara in the beginning of the time skip, you know, and we don't actually know. You could argue, but why didn't we actually get to see her then when they were all saying good luck to Gojo? It could be for the same reason that we didn't get to see Miguel. Her and Miguel could have actually been doing a side mission, you know, maybe they actually took her to Miguel to actually treat her. We don't actually know Miguel's current relationship with the main cast. We don't know if he just came in randomly, and this is unexpected for everyone, or if he's actually been working alongside them and he had a side mission and he's just coming in now that he just finished, you know, the previous side mission, whatever he was doing. We don't know. Now, if it's the option that they have been working with Miguel since the beginning, then it's very likely that Nobara could actually come back with him in the current chapters, but even if that's not the case, again, it's possible that Nobara may actually come back in the second round against Sukuna, and I say this because we really just need to beat Sukuna somehow. Clearly, this guy is not going down via conventional means, but Nobara is someone who has a specific hacked abilities that can actually defeat even Ryoma and Sukuna because of her technique, the connection between both Yuji and, more importantly, the Sukuna hand that was actually chopped off by Higuruma that's still out there. If she can get that, she can actually do damage to Sukuna via the hand that she picked up, and I'm seeing a lot of people argue that, oh, Sukuna can just defend against this attack, you know, it's something that you can guard against, but I want to remind you, soul resonance is not something that you can guard against with your traditional output and reinforcement. It just bypasses that and actually attacks your soul directly, and this is made worse for Sukuna, whose soul is currently shaken up quite a lot, and it's so shaken up that he can't even heal his soul normally, as the soul cutter katana attack that Maki did, normally he should be able to heal that soul damage that he can heal, but Yuji's messed up his soul outline so badly that he can't actually do it right now. So this is a perfect opportunity for someone like Nobara who can attack your soul directly, and Sukuna's soul is shaken up and its outline is not even done properly, and he can't even heal his soul right now. So if she attacks his soul, he's not healing from that, and he can't even guard against it because it bypasses traditional defenses that normal sorcerers would have. We have two things right now that she can use to attack Sukuna. Like I said before, Yuji, he is exactly like a Sukuna finger, he is soaked in his cursed energy, so that would work, and also Sukuna's actual hand that he chopped off against Higuruma. This one's more likely. I mean, it would be great writing if GEGE actually utilizes that chopped off hand and it kind of comes back as a crux against Sukuna and is the thing that actually defeats him. That means Sukuna would have brought about his own downfall. Had he not been playing with Higuruma, had he just killed him right away, had he not been messing around and telling him heal yourself, the whole reason he had to actually cut his arm off was because he looked away, and had he not been doing any of that, then his hand wouldn't have chopped off and Nobara wouldn't be able to pick his hand and defeat him. It's very poetic, it's very fitting, and I do believe that if the main cast, the rest of them, have gotten this much stronger over the time skip, there is no reason why Nobara shouldn't at least be on their level of reinforcement and output, and she should be able to damage Sukuna just like every single other character right now can with the level of reinforcement and output. This, however, is only if she woke up during during the time skip, as I was talking about before, and she's actually been training via whatever method they've been using, and they cheated, I'm saying in quotes, you know, however they did that to get so powerful over the time skip, then she should actually be able to easily damage Sukuna with her reinforcement map, which she doesn't even need. Like I said before, her curse technique bypasses that kind of thing, but it's also possible that even if she awakens right now, she could get a tremendous power up. This is because the last time that we saw her, she was saying, I need to get a glimpse of focus on the core of cursed energy. I need to do it just like that time against the death paintings, because she is someone who has hit a black flash. So her actual potential is tremendous, you know, she is a prodigy to be this powerful. Again, she is a first year, she is a teenager, I'm pretty sure she's like 15, and she actually defeated a special grade cursed spirit, a death painting, so her potential is tremendous, and I truly wouldn't be surprised if she is the key to defeating Sukuna, because we need some hacks like this right now to beat Sukuna. He is not going down from anyone else, and it would be so beautiful for her to come back, because then we could get the three main trio, her, Megumi, and Yuji, actually taking on Sukuna, being the ones to actually defeat him. And some of you may be questioning, oh, Megumi, he's not going to come back, his will is broken. I do believe he's going to come back. I've talked about this in a different video, and I may do so again in the future, but I truly do believe that the main trio, Nobara, Yuji, and Megumi, will be the ones to actually defeat Sukuna in the end and bring a stop to this monster. And even if she isn't relevant in the Sukuna fight, she will at least be relevant against the merger and bring it down. So if I'm not right on the Sukuna stuff, I at least think she's going to play an important role in the merger, and if she doesn't actually come back, well, it is just a generational fumble from GEGE. I have no words. But if you did enjoy the video, be sure to leave a like, it helps out a ton. And of course, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe for a ton of consistent and quality JJK content just like this. Like I said in the beginning, less than 10% of people actually watch my videos are subscribed. So if you love JJK, I promise you won't regret subscribing. And of course, thank you to all the channel members as well. It is always much appreciated. That's all from me. Have a great day and take care, everyone.